This goes back about 20 years, maybe even a bit more. I was in the home of Rav Pam, Zecher Tzaddik Levracha, and Rebbetzin Pam, Alei Shalom. And it was the beginning of shuvu when our budget was rather small. But already then we didn't have enough funds for what we wanted to do. Just the numbers were smaller. We actually wanted to do a very small program in a school in Haifa called Sharei Torah. This was before we had our own shuvu schools. And we needed $700 for this program, to start the program, which should start rolling. It was for girls in the 8th grade of the school. This was a normal Chinuch Hatzamoy school, but it took in Russian girls because at that time, the Russian Olim didn't know the difference between a frum school and a not frum school. They would go to the closest school of the neighborhood. And this area in Haifa called El Kharizi was actually an Arab neighborhood. And there was empty apartments, and the Russian Olim moved in. And there was a Chinuch Hatzamoy school which had 50 students left. And they saw the luck of the Russians coming, and they took in the children. But there was a need for help for the school, and the 8th grade girls who were finishing at the last year, we wanted to start a program there to get the girls to continue afterwards and to get some basic Yiddishkeit. I told Rav Pam and the Rebbetzin, and I overheard the Rebbetzin was on the phone, and she was speaking to a travel agency to book tickets to go to Eretz Yisrael because her sister was making a wedding. The next day, I get a phone call from Rabbi Pam to the shuvu office, and Rabbi Pam is on the lines asking for me. He said, "You remember yesterday you told me about this program, the $700 program for girls in Sharei Torah? I discussed it with the Rebbetzin, and we decided she's not going to Eretz Yisrael for the wedding. You have a post-dated check of $700. Please start the program." That was the first chapter of this story. There's another 2 chapters. Second chapter happened last Shavuos in our home. My wife invited a girl who is in Neve Yerushalayim, Chana Pnina, to come and join us for the meal in Shavuos. And we started to talk. We thought actually she was German. And during the meal, she told us that actually she's from Russia. The family moved to Germany in a town where there was no Jews at all. Only them, the parents were both doctors. They were placed in some town. And she didn't know anything, and the parents didn't know anything. But the parents did want that she should get a little bit of Yiddishkeit. So they decided in the 8th grade to send her for a year to Israel, to the grandparents. The grandparents living in Haifa. So I asked her, was that year that you were in Haifa and you learned a little bit of Yiddishkeit, that made you to what you are today? And she said, yes. So I asked her, I was scared to ask her, which school did you go to in Haifa? Well, I'm sure you don't know, she said, Sharei Torah. This was the program started by the $700 of Rav Pam, Zecher Tzaddik Levracha, the Mesiras Nefesh. This girl, today, a frum girl, a madricha in Neve Yerushalayim. The 3rd chapter is tonight. This girl, Baruch Hashem, just got engaged to a boy, a yeshiva bocher, Ariel, who learns in Marpitzei Torah in Bnei Brak, famous yeshiva. And we have with us here tonight the Chosn and the Kale. Ariel and Chana Pnina. Tonight we're dealing with the Chosn and Kale.
לפני החתן, תשמר רגלים לפני החתן מצוות מרגלים לפני אדוני. אוי 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 אחרי כל השמחות צריך גם ברית מילה.